Donald Trump is winning. I'm Brian Lilley with the Rebel.media. You wouldn't know it from paying attention to the mainstream media, but Donald Trump is winning. I mean, really winning. Not crazy Charlie Sheen yelling about hashtag winning, hashtag Tiger Blood. No, Donald Trump's winning in ways that count. While the mainstream media is focusing on Trump's troubles, trying to get through his Muslim ban that's not a Muslim ban, or his failure to get a deal so far to repeal and replace Obamacare, Trump is still going about the business of peeling away at former President Barack Obama's policy legacy. Behind the chaos, a chaos that Trump and Steve Bannon seem to thrive on, there are real policy moves, real victories for Trump that are not getting the same kind of attention. Be it on the environmental front, pipelines, trade, Trump's rolling back Obama victories and delivering on the promises that he made to the people that sent him to Washington, the voters. Let's start with pipelines. The Obama administration, they dithered for years on approving the Keystone XL pipeline, a proposal from TransCanada to take oil from northern Alberta across the Canada-U.S. border to the Texas Gulf Coast. It was all for refining. The Canadian oil would displace imports from countries like Venezuela and Saudi Arabia, the top source for oil imports after Canada. Obama delayed the approval after one of his mega donors, Tom Steyer, came out against it. Obama claimed it was all about climate change, but then you look and you see another top Obama donor named Warren Buffett owns the railway, with the biggest mover of oil by rail. With that out of the way, with Obama out of the way, President Trump approved a pipeline project that will create and support thousands of jobs, a pipeline project that Americans, both Republicans and Democrats, have been supporting the building of for years. He also gave the go-ahead to the Dakota Access Pipeline. Protesters had gained traction with the media and the left wing of American politics by claiming this was on native land. Not true. They said it would harm the water supply, that there was no way you should put a pipeline through there. Those claims ignored that 8 existing pipelines go through the area already with no issues. Obama balked at the sight of professional protesters being joined by unemployed youth, a major Democratic voting bloc, and he put a halt to the Dakota Access Pipeline. Donald Trump put people back to work by approving the pipeline, and maybe those protesters could get a job now. On fuel efficiency standards, well, Trump has just put the EPA on notice that his administration is reviewing their push for stricter fuel efficiency standards for cars and trucks. The current standards were set in 2012. For model years 2017 to 2025, the plan was to review the progress at the midpoint. Well, Obama's EPA just announced that there would be no midpoint review, that industry would have to meet those strict targets. They did that 3 days before Obama left office. Trump is now working with industry to make sure jobs aren't killed as part of this. Also with the EPA, Trump is pushing back against Obama's Clean Power Plan, one that was essentially a war on coal, even though it's a cheap and abundant power source that is much cleaner than it was decades ago. Obama halted new leases for coal on federal lands. He said there had to be a social cost implemented to all of this. Trump campaigned on putting coal miners back to work, and he's doing that. On the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a key achievement for Obama, Trump has withdrawn the U.S. from this mega trade deal and instructed his trade representative to seek individual bilateral deals that are more in American interest. He reinstated the Mexico City policy that says American foreign aid won't go to groups that push for abortion overseas. Democrats always repeal this policy. Clinton and Obama did. Republicans always reinstate it. But perhaps a bigger deal on the foreign policy side is what Trump and his administration are doing at the UN. They just cut funding for the UN Population Fund based on the idea that it supports coercive abortion politics, among other abhorrent practices. But they're also pushing for a review of peacekeeping and human rights. They want to know, are they meeting their objectives on the peacekeeping side? And they're talking about pulling out of the Human Rights Council if reforms aren't made. This is a body that regularly condemns Israel while giving dictatorial regimes a pass. With Nikki Haley at the UN, we might actually see some of the reform at the UN that many of us have been seeking for years, if not decades. Those are just some of Trump's wins so far, some of his repealing of the Obama legacy. And here you thought, or at least you thought, if you relied solely on the drive-by mainstream media, that Trump wasn't getting anything done due to all the chaos at the White House, the stuff you hear about on CNN ad nauseum. Well, that chaos might just be masking how much is really happening, how much is being accomplished under this president that people are still underestimating. If you like the Rebel video you just watched, make sure you never miss another one again. Click here to subscribe or head on over to therebel.media and become a member.